Good morning, friends. Welcome back once again to the social science online classes. If you remember, we had started the chapter that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife resources. So we had discussed that out of these, which are abiotic, which are biotic. Then we started with land. Land is an important natural resource for us, where 30% of total land is available on the earth. Out of this 30% also, only on 30% people are densely populated. Other 70%, remaining 70%, it is either uninhabited or sparsely populated. So now we'll see that how important is land, or what are the uses of land. So the topic would be land uses. Now what are the land uses? Land can be used for many activities such as agriculture, building houses, for forestry, for mining, roads, railway tracks. So many things are done on the land. So let's go through this. Land use refers to the use of land for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of industries. All these things are done on land. Fine. Now, how do we use land? There are two factors on which it depends. Right? We have seen the uses of land, but which land should be used? Like some land is used for agriculture, some is used for mining, some is used for building houses, roads. So which land where? So what are the factors which on which the land use depends? So we can say factors affecting land use are of two types. One is physical factors and other is human factors. Yeah, sorry, the video has paused. Okay, so factors are of two kinds. One is physical factor and other is human factor. Now what comes under physical factor? It is the climate, soil, topography, water, all these things. And human factor, the population and technology. How we'll discuss? Okay, now we can read this. Physical factors include topography, that is geographical area, that altitude, whether it's desert or what. Soil, the kind of soil present there. Climate, which climate region it belongs to, and availability of water. Because if there is a piece of land and there is no water, you cannot do agriculture there because water is very compulsory. So these are all physical factors. It is not in our control. But we have human factors which include population. If there is more population, more houses need to be built, more agriculture should be there to produce food grains, and technology. Suppose there is a very vast area and there it is very rich in deposits of coal. So they should need that, humans should need the technology to take out the coal or extract the coal. So now we can clearly see that there are physical factors which are these: topography, soil, climate, availability of water, all these. Human factors, we have population and technology. Fine, understood. Very simple. Now this land can also be divided or classified into different groups based on the ownership. Okay, so it can be on the basis of ownership. Land can be classified as private and community land. Okay, now private land is owned by an individual. Suppose this is my house, this is my private property. I can do whatever I want to do here. Also there is a kind of community land. We'll come to this point one by one. So private land is owned by an individual or family members and is used for personal purposes. Like house is a private land. My field, agriculture field, is my private land. I can sow whatever I require. Right? So similarly, community land is owned by a community for common uses and can be used by anyone in the society. Like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts or medical herbs. These community lands are also called common property resources. Now I'll try to show you one picture or one figure from where you can understand that what does this mean actually. Yeah, here you can see this. So this house is a private property, but this pond or this small forest or grassland, they are all community property. Anyone can use it. Like you might be having certain parks in nearby your house. So is it a private property? No, it is for the society. People can go play there. So it is not for a single person, it is for all community. So private land is owned by one single person or a family, but community land is owned by the whole community or society, right? So we'll go through this. The demand for land by people is growing, but the availability of land is limited. Now this is very important because we know that 30% of land is there on earth, rest is water. So in this 30%, the land is same. Land is same till now, only the population is increasing. So to meet the demand of these people, the land is limited. Okay, so just try to understand, the land which was 50 years back is same what it is today. But the population has gone almost double. So the pressure on land is very high. Availability of land is very limited. So because of these changes, the land use pattern has also changed. Now what way the land was used 50 years back, now it's totally different. Because of the growing population, the cultural changes, because of all these things, the land use has been changed. The vast changes in the land use pattern shows the cultural changes in our society. And because we are using it in a very different way, there is a land degradation. We call it land degradation. The quality of land is decreasing, degrading. You know, grade A, grade B, it is degrading. Grade is coming down. The quality of land is going down. Why? Because of a lot of things. So let's see. Land degradation, landslides, you know, when a big piece of rocks fall down. Total landslides. We'll see this landslide. We have a separate topic also after this. Soil erosion is there. You know what is soil erosion? Desertification. There are no vegetation. The land is becoming desert. No plants, nothing. Yeah, so all these problems of land degradation like desertification or soil erosion, or you can say landslides, these are all because of expansion of agriculture and construction activities. Because population is increasing, so we require more food grains, so we are expanding agriculture. We are using fertilizers, we are using high yield variety seeds, we are using insecticides. So all these are degrading the quality of land. Also construction activities, because population is growing, so they require lot of houses to stay. For this also land is getting more used now. Okay, so now in case of land about agriculture, fertile land is exploited more because the need of food grains, and leads to the barrenness if not utilized judicially. If you use a lot of fertilizers, chemical fertilizers, it will decrease the quality of the land. We know it very well, but we don't have an option. So we have to use fertilizer, but the use should be very judicial. We should think about it and then only use it. Now why do we use fertilizers? Like for example, my father had 20 acres of land. I'm giving an example, rough example. 20 acres of land, and we were a family of 4. My father, my mother, and we 2 brothers. Fine. Now when we divide it into 2 brothers, now I have 10 acres of land. And 10 acres went to my brother. Now in this 10 acres, I have a family of 4 now. Me, my wife, my 2 daughters. So again I have to make a survival in this 10 acres of land. Earlier my father did in 20 acres, now I am doing in 10 acres. So this means I need to increase the yield, increase the productivity of that land. For this I will use fertilizers. That's fine, but I have to use it very judicially, very carefully, by thinking about the long-term demerits, right? And also there is one more factor which we can say, that is over exploitation of mineral resources. We are taking out mineral resources at a very high speed, very high rate, which is again degrading the land. Also makes the soil vulnerable to be degraded. So these are certain features or certain factors which are responsible for the degradation of land. Now after degradation, what we will see, how can we conserve the land? Okay, now the next topic will be conservation of land resources. Now because of the growing population, the pressure on agriculture has increased. So what they are doing, agriculture land is same, so now they are cutting the forest and doing agriculture there. So what it says, growing population and their ever growing demands has led to a large scale destruction of forest cover. For what? And arable land has created a fear of losing these natural resources. Arable land means, this means, now anyone, do you know what is meaning of arable land? Arable land where we can do agriculture, that is called arable land, and where we don't do it, it's called fallow land. that you'll see in your next chapter also, in your other chapters. So the large scale destruction of forest, we have a fear that we will lose this forest now. The present rate of degradation must be checked. We have to stop this degradation. We have to utilize the land very carefully and judicially. Okay. So what can be the common methods of to conserve land resources? The first thing is we have to do afforestation. Now afforestation is opposite of deforestation. We have to plant trees. We have to create forests. Land reclamation. Land reclamation means we have to clear one land and we have to relocate the people into some other land. That is called land reclamation. Regulated use of chemical pesticide. We should regulate the use. We should not use it rampantly or without thinking. We should use it in a regulated way. And fertilizers, and check overgrazing. Now what is overgrazing? Have you seen many times the sheep, not sheep actually, goats and cows, they graze in certain areas. So what people do, they overgraze there. They do not give time to the trees to grow or the shrubs or herbs to grow. So what happens? Because of that plain land, the soil is eroded, and after some time what happens? The place becomes desertified. There is desertification. No plants grow there. So we have to check all these things. So how can we make it? It is the responsibility of the government that they should make certain rules. Like they should say that overgrazing is a crime, or they have to make certain, they have to impose certain fine on them. So by making rules related to soil and land conservation, and by making farmers educated regarding the negative aspects of overgrazing and overutilization of fertilizers, that the government can play an active role to preserve soil and land. So it is a responsibility. I can understand, you can understand, but many people don't understand this. Even if they understand, they are not taking it seriously. So the government has to take certain actions, certain steps, where it should be strict rules should be there for the conservation of soil and land. Now we will see a small feature about landslides. Now here, landslides. I'll show you some pictures. Can you see this picture? This photograph, it's total landslide. It has blocked the road also. Yeah, it is because of either a very heavy rainfalls. It generally happen. Another picture I'll show you. Yeah, it is there. Now here you can see what happens. The total this cover has fallen down. Now it has went to total city also. Many houses are broken down. Can you see there? So this is called landslide. Now here you can read this. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rock, debris or earth down a slope. Because this slide, so it happens in a slope only. Okay. They often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods and volcanoes. So if there are high floods, volcanoes or earthquakes, these things happen very common. A prolonged spell of rainfall, if continuous rainfall is there, prolonged means a long time if rainfall is there, so this can lead to a landslide sometimes. If you see in Uttaranchal, Uttarakhand, this is a very common feature of landslide. The formation of river blocks can, now if the landslide happens in a river, what will happen? The river flow will block and there will be flood in the low-lying areas. So all these are about landslides. You can go through this or else in notes you can go through this. It's not so important, but you should know what is the meaning of landslides. Now to avoid landslide, there are certain what we say mitigation techniques. What we mean by mitigation techniques is, mitigation techniques. It means how can we avoid landslides. So hazard mapping, locate the areas which are prone to landslide. We should know which areas are very prone, and such area can be avoided for building settlements. So if you see in this picture, if we had known that there could be a landslide, we would have not allowed the people to stay in this place. Okay, so that is hazard mapping. They'll locate the places. Here here in this location the landslide is very common, so we will not allow people to stay there. Fine. Construction of retention wall. What they do generally, suppose there is a mountain and it is very prone. A small hill is there. It is prone to landslides, and from here one road is going. Okay, so what they will do? They will make a wall here. They will create a wall so that if landslides, it will stop here only. It will not come on the road. That is called construction of retention wall. Just in front of mountain, they will make a wall. Not very big, maybe some 5 meters high or 4 meters high, so that whenever there is a landslide, the debris or that soil which is coming down, sliding down, will stay behind the wall. It will not come into the residential area or on the roads or on the river, wherever it is. So it can be done. Increase in the vegetation cover is an effective way to arrest landslide. In the hilly areas, if the vegetation is very good, it's very difficult for landslide, because what the roots of trees, they catch hold of the soil. They what we say, they have a control on the soil. They will have hold on the soil, so it will not go away. So landslide can be avoided with increase in the vegetation cover. The surface drainage control. Surface drainage means, suppose if there is a mountain, small hill, and continuous rainfall is coming, so this part may get slided down. So what they do, they will make certain drain type system. So water will come and flow through the drain. It will not go into the soil itself. So we can avoid it by making drains. So whenever there is a rainfall or floods, that water can go away from the drain. It will not hamper the hill or that land. So there will be no landslides. So this was all about land. In our next chapter, we'll see, in our next video, we'll see about the next resource, that is soil. So for now, this is okay. Landslides, we have seen mitigation cover, land uses, degradation of land, how can we conserve land, all these things we have covered. So land topic is over. In next session, we'll take about soil. Thank you. Have a nice